Hello students, welcome back to our channel Gyan and Real Life Education. I hope you all are fine and safe at your home. So students, in our last lecture we had completed our first story, means first part of our second unit, the sound of music. So today we will start our second story, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan, the second story of our second unit, the sound of music. So let's get started. So here we have the part 2, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. So we are familiar with the word Shehnai. It's a kind of instrumental, musical instrumental. So here first of all we can see so many pictures in our textbooks. If you don't have, so you may read with the help of this. I have the PDF. So before you read, do you know these people what instruments do they play? So we have so many instruments with so many people, because every people play different kinds of musical instrument. So first let's get started our unit. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence for it had a shrill unpleasant sound. So here Emperor Aurangzeb banned Aurangzeb, who was the emperor, he banned the playing of musical instrument called pungi. Here pungi is the name of the musical instrumental. So Aurangzeb banned to play that instrumental. In the royal residence for it had a shrill unpleasant sound, because it had some kind of unpleasant sound. So that emperor Aurangzeb banned on that playing of pungi. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noise makers. So why did he ban that musical instrumental? Because pungi became the generic name for reeded noise makers. Means some kind of group of people who were playing that kind of instrumental, they make some kind of noises. That's why he banned. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace. So when Aurangzeb banned that musical instrumental, then some people thought that after some time it will be revived, that yes, you can play that musical instrument. But a barber of a family of professional musicians, a barber, here one also person comes, a barber of a family of professional musicians, means some musicians are there who are working as a professionally. They family means from their grandfather to grandfather, their business was to play a musical instrument. So he was professional musician, his family, and he was belonging to that kind of family who were playing the musical instrument, who had access to the royal palace, decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. Now what did he decide? So barber, he decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi, because on that musical instrument, on the pungi, Aurangzeb had banned. So he thought that we should improve the tonal quality of the pungi. So what did he do? He chose a pipe with a natural hollow. First of all, he chose one pipe with a natural hollow. One pipe with it there is one natural hollow. Holstein that was longer and broader than the pungi. That kind of pipe he chose with some kind of natural hollow, and it was longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. And he means the barber made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were there. So when did he make that kind of musical instrument? He chose one pipe and choose one natural hollow, and then also he made 7 different kinds of holes on the body of the pipe. And when he played that, he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes. Soft and melodious sounds were produced. After making of that pipe, after making of this other instrument which is looking like a pungi, the sound was very melodious and soft. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. So he played that instrument. Still he has not given the name of that musical instrument, but it was looking like the pungi, and it was playing very softly, and melodious sounds was coming from that instrumental. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. So he played that instrument before the royalty and everyone were impressed to hear that sound, the beautiful melodious sound of that instrument. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. So the instrument, which is new instrument, it was so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by a nine, means that barber. So when did it played very first time? So it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by a barber, and the instrument was named the Shehnai. Now the word comes Shehnai. It was looking like pungi, but some kind of very vast difference between pungi and Shehnai. But that new instrumental, new musical instrument, the name of that new instrument was Shehnai. So here we can also see 2 pictures, pungi and Shehnai. How the difference between pungi and Shehnai. So pungi, there is one round shape we can see, and in Shehnai it's totally and just simple, and 7 holes we can see in Shehnai. So when we hear the name Shehnai, some kind of thoughts come in our mind. For example, marriage is there, so in that time we can hear the sound of very melodious sound of Shehnai, especially in marriage occasion. So our next paragraph, the sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. How the voice, how the sound, here we cannot use the word voice, because the sound, the melodious sound is coming from the Shehnai. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Now it is very auspicious. Sound of Shehnai, it is considered as auspicious. It's very good. And for this reason, it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. So when did we use Shehnai especially? It is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Bhatt or traditional ensemble of nine instruments found at royal courts. Components of any North Indian wedding. So in the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat or traditional. It was the part of Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. 9 main instruments were there, so Shehnai was one of them. Instruments found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. So nowadays, we use Shehnai in the temples and at the occasion of weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. So this instrument goes on to the classical stage. So this credit we should give it to Bismillah Khan, Ustad Bismillah Khan. So we have to give the credit to Ustad Bismillah Khan. So as a 5 years old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumrao in Bihar. So as a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan was just 5-year-old and Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumrao in Bihar. So there was one proper village in the Bihar and he was used to play Gilli Danda near the pond. He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.22 kilograms, a prize given by the local Maharaja. So here in the Bihar, he would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple. There was one temple Bihariji in the Bihar in his town and he sang the Bhojpuri Chaita. He sang this Bhojpuri Chaita and at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.22 kilograms and he got 1.22 kilograms laddu as a prize given by the local Maharaja. After singing that, he got this laddu by the local Maharaja. This happened 8 years ago and the little boy had travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. So this happened 8 years ago. Whatever happened, it was about 8 years ago. And the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in the India. And whatever he wanted to earn, it was about 1.22 kilograms laddu he wanted to earn. But he travelled and far to earn the highest civilian award in the India. The award is the Bharat Ratna. He travelled to get this award and he travelled far and far. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather Rasul Buks Khan was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpuri king's court. So here he was born on 21st March 1916, and Bismillah Khan belongs to a well-known family of musicians where all the members of family, means father or grandfather or his grandfather, they all are belonging to the music background. So here also Bismillah Khan belonged to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. He was from Bihar, and his grandfather Rasul Buks Khan was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur king's court. Bhojpur king's court. He was the Shehnai Nawaz, means the musical instrumental player of the Bhojpur king's court. He was the musical instrumental player, especially the Shehnai Nawaz. So he was that, and his father Pagambar Books and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. So we could come to know that what is his background, right? So he was totally belonging to the musical background. His grandfather Rasul Buks Khan, he was the Shehnai Nawaz of Bhojpuri king's court, and his father Pagambar Books and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. So he was belonging to that kind of family background. So it is generally that he was also interested in this kind of background, and he will do it. So students, here we are going to end up our today's lecture. So whatever questions in your mind regarding this story, Bismillah Khan, so you may all are free to ask me. Thank you, students.